So I want to do a video today talking about camera settings, specifically color profiles or picture profiles for Sony users, but any kind of Canon or Nikon user could probably take something from this as well. So if you want to hear me ramble on about that for 5 minutes or so, stick around. So picture profiles or color profiles are a big thing that new users and maybe even existing users kind of worry about, look up, and try to figure out. They basically want to know what the best settings are for their camera. You'll see tons of videos about people writing other people saying, hey, what camera settings did you use for those? Or someone puts a comment in there, what's your picture profile for that? When you're new, it's another thing on top that you've got to learn. So it's hard, and everyone just wants to know what are the best settings that you can use. I know this because when I got my A6300 just over a year ago, it was something that I kind of dwelled on and was concerned about, which one do I use? There's so many options available, but which one is best for me to use? There's so many you can use. You've got Cine 1, Cine 2, Cine 3, Cine 4. S-Log 2 is a really popular one that people use. It's considered the flattest. S-Log 3, I think there's an S-Log 4, S-Gamma. There's a lot to use. There's a lot to pick from. So I want to tell you what I use and why. And I actually don't use any of those. None at all. No, I did. S-Log 2 was the one that I tried first. Everybody says it has the flattest image, making it the easiest to color grade. But if you're trying to learn about color profiles or picture profiles, and then you've got to learn about color grading, there's a lot of room for error, especially when you're new to this. It's another thing you have to learn. You're learning how to shoot with your camera, well, now you're learning about picture profiles, and then you've got to learn about color grade. It's a lot. S-Log 2, there's minimum ISOs that no one talks about. Your image has to be exposed a certain way, which means if it's not, you're not going to be able to color grade it properly. It's not going to look good. And if you're like me, you were learning how to use this camera or another camera, you end up shooting a video, you think it's okay, and it ends up coming out like this. Pop this in here. As I said, all this is a little iPhone mount on the top, and I've got base plates on it. That is not good. I look dead. I'm gray. That is a terrible image. That was S-Log 2, I think. Yeah, I really didn't know how to use it, and it's obvious. So I maybe learned a little bit more, and I tried some other things, and I then shot another video. And so this is a DJI Mavic case. Still not good. Like, not good image at all. So then I started looking at some other things, and I saw Cine 4. Christian Matt Gabe, I'm sorry if I butchered that. I'll link his stuff up here or down here somewhere. He does some really nice cinematic content. He talked a lot about Cine 4 when he was a big Sony user before he swapped to Canon. Some videos that he shot with Cine 4, they came out really nice, so I wanted to try out that. And it was good. It was definitely better. It was easier to color grade. You didn't have to worry about minimum ISOs. It made the blacks a little bit blacker, and it made the whites a little bit whiter, and everything just kind of looked good. But then wedding season came around again, and I shoot weddings, and I use an A6000 and an A6300, and A6000 doesn't have picture profiles on it. So I needed something that would work for both cameras, because I need them to be able to match so that in post I don't have to do a lot of tweaking with colors, and it's easier. So I set both cameras to no picture profile, basically the same settings. And they don't actually look the same, which is kind of strange. But anyway, I did a little bit more research, and I found something called a creative style, which is a setting you have on both cameras. And I used the autumn leaves one. So I used this, and I really like it. You pick your creative style, and the easiest way to describe a creative style is like it's a really light, out of the camera filter. It applies straight to the video for you, but it's very, very light. Kind of like a Instagram filter maybe, but very, very light. It doesn't do a lot to the image. You can tweak 3 settings on it: contrast, which I use -1, your saturation, which I use -1, and your sharpness, which I use nothing. I use a 0. I like it sharp. If I could shoot everything 4K, I would, but it takes a lot of time and work.
And in case you're wondering how to get to the creative style on an A6000 like here, hit the menu in tab 1, go across to option 4, down to creative style, and you can see I've got autumn leaves set already. Click on it. You can pick the different creative styles that you want to use there, and if you want to actually edit these settings, click right, and then you can control those, and then just hit OK. That's it.
So yeah, autumn leaves, -1 contrast, -1 saturation, and 0 sharpness. That is what I've been using, and I really like it. It's not overly flat, doesn't ooze with saturation. You can still color grade it a little bit if you want to. Yes, it's still Sony colors, and people will go, well, Canon always has better colors. It's true, they do. but I don't have Canon, I have Sony. So I deal with what I've got, and this is what I like. It works really well for me now. You get your exposure set properly, and that's it. You're good. Everything else just kind of works out the camera. It applies the creative style. You're golden, you're good to go. You can edit your footage. I've got to the point now where a lot of my videos, I don't even apply a grade. This is a video I shot the other day. Now it was perfect outside. It was cloudy, it was snowy, so there was good light, but it came out so nice. And this is straight from the camera. There is not one piece of a color grade on here. Here's some clips with it, and you can kind of see how good it looks. In my opinion, for what I like, that's what I'm going to continue using. Autumn leaves, I can use it on both cameras. Just a nice image. So I think what I'm really trying to say is, when you get a camera and you're still learning, even if you're not still learning, don't worry too much about all the fancy options you have available to you. The color profiles, the color science. There's a lot to learn there, and unless you really want to invest the time in doing it, don't worry about it too much. Pick up your camera and shoot. Use something that's simple. Stick with that. I just want to get out, I want to shoot videos, I want to turn my camera on, I want to shoot something like this. I don't want to have to worry about 5 other things like ISO to make sure that my S-Log is properly exposed so I can then color grade it properly and spend another hour color grading. Keep it simple so you worry less, which in turn means you can shoot more and make more videos, which is kind of what we're all here to do anyway, right? So if you made it this far, thank you. Listening to me ramble for probably what will be 5 minutes on. And yeah, let me know down below what settings you use, what creative style you use, what picture profile you use, and how long it took you to get to the point where you were comfortable with that. I'm very interested to know. I usually respond to all the comments, so put a comment down below and let's start a discussion. I hope I taught you something today. If I did, hit that like button down below if you'd be so kind, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a part of it. Help me to grow this channel, which in turn helps you guys to learn stuff, helps me reach more people, and they all learn things, and everybody's happy. We create a little community. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you hopefully in my next video. See ya.